What's up guys, it's your boy Zotric with another video. Today we're going to talk about 3 anime characters that are popular but I just don't like. It's just my opinion today, so don't get too angry at the comments. These 3 characters, or you could even say more than 3 if you want to be honest. These characters are very popular and I get why these characters are popular, okay? But I just can't connect with them, okay? First, Rudeus Squarehead. Rudeus is a very special character. He's from the anime Mushoku Tensei. You know, I really liked the first season of Mushoku Tensei when I first started it. It was a very different anime. I was very intrigued and I was very interested. I liked many of the aspects. Also, I didn't like many other parts of this anime. Okay, but that's not the story today. So I liked Rudeus. I liked him in season 1. He was a very relatable character. Learning about him, progressing and evolving and maturing, and overcoming trauma from his first life and learning from this life and implementing things that he could do better in his new life. And that was a very good concept to me, you know. There were also many funny moments and many cringe moments, if I can say so myself. They were kind of weird, but I still was able to look past that, okay? Pedophilia. But in season 2, there was a lot of shit I didn't like. There was also a lot of shit that I liked, but the shit that I didn't like was much more heavy, especially at the end. If there's one genre of anime I don't like, it's ecchi anime, okay? I don't like harem anime, I don't like all this type of stuff. So when the character Roxy returned in this anime, I already knew what time it was. I already knew. I watched like a couple of harem anime back in the day. I don't even know why, but I watched a couple of those. And when I saw how she was portrayed and how much in love she was with Rudeus, I already knew, like, damn. He already had his wife, the girl he just married, his girl, Sophie, and I was rooting for him the whole time. This whole season, he couldn't even get a soldier to stand in attention, but I still rooted for him, okay? And when he got her, I was happy, you know? I didn't even think about the other girls he knew. I just was happy for him, even though he couldn't even recognize his own crush when she had only some shades on in the cape. It's kind of Superman 2.0, but whatever. He was very interesting, and I really loved his dynamic with Sophie, okay? And he even impregnated her. And I liked this whole story with his little siblings, his little sisters. It was very interesting and very relatable, you know? It was very something else, something you don't really see in other anime, like family dynamics and stuff like that. Even the scenes with his dad was that was my favorite scene, actually. The scene where he met his dad finally, and his dad was mad at him because it was like he didn't care about his family. That was my favorite scene. But at the end, when Rudeus' father died, was very sad, I ain't gonna lie. But the thing after his death was where my problem lies, okay? Rudeus got depressed, and that's very understandable, you know? I mean, his dad died. But the way Roxy, okay? The way Roxy tried to cheer him up was to give him some punani, some pussy. At this moment, I knew, shit, I hate the direction this anime is going. And I hate Roxy. She's such a basic ass harem character, bro. I just don't like her. Sylphie is also like the typical quiet girl, but at least she feels like a real person, okay? Roxy feels like she's only existing to be a wife of Rudius, you know? But this video is not about Roxy. I really hate Rudius more. I was never really a Roxy fan. When I saw that Roxy fell in love with an old student who was a little kid, by the way, I was just like, not this, please not, bro. I already know Sylphie's going to accept it. I ain't gonna lie. I already knew Sylphie's going to accept this relationship and this harem. And then I thought about the other girl, and I was like, oh my god, he's going to have a harem of like 4 girls or more, maybe. When he came back to his pregnant wife, who he cheated on, he came there and asked if she accepted him having a harem. And understandably, his little sister was very against it. It's the only one with logic. But of course, it's an anime, so Sylphie accepted it and was happy, blah, blah, blah. It would have been so much better, okay, if at least Sylphie was uncomfortable with the idea, okay? Just not like, okay, it just seems forced, okay? I just don't like the direction the anime went. It would have been a great story if Sylphie and Rudius would have like kind of a problem or something. He cheated and then some relationship drama or something. That would have been relatable. This step was just too left field. It just came back to this isekai type harem anime. Even though he's popular, I don't think many people like him because of the PDF file stuff. Probably the least popular character of the ones I'm talking about today. The second character is Tanjiro and his little friends or something. You might ask, why Tanjiro? He's a cool guy. He's a good brother. He's somebody with a heart. He kills demons, but he's still sorry for them and he feels remorse. Yeah, I get all that, but he's kind of boring, okay? He has no challenges he has to overcome other than beating demons, of course, but his character is just so plain, and I just don't know if that's enough for a good story. The first season, at first I didn't even notice why I didn't like the show like I liked it before, you know? And the second season were great, especially when we came to the entertainment district arc. The stakes, the animation, everything was A1. And most anime have 1 or 2 favorite characters that appeal to me, that feel relatable, or that are just cool, you know? But in Demon Slayer, I don't really have a main favorite character. None of those characters are really appealing to me as a favorite character. The main 3 are just 3 character archetypes. As Netsu's the little guy who's always scared. He has no other personality trait other than that he loves Tanjiro's sister Nezuko. That's it, literally. He has no other character traits and does not say anything else other than things related to either one of those traits. I bet you money he doesn't do anything without being scared or being in love or sleeping, which is another weird thing that he has. But I don't get how anyone would have him as his favorite character. in Demon Slayer or even an anime as a whole. Next we got Inosuke with the boar head. He's just an angry, ambitious fighter archetype. Like, he likes to fight, he has his mask on, he's a wild ass character. That's just the whole character. When he was first revealed, he was kind of cool because he was kind of mysterious. I wanted to know his backstory, but until now, they still haven't told us his backstory. We only know that he grew up in the wilderness, and that's where he learned to fight, but we still don't know everything, so maybe he gets better, I don't know. His running gag is that very feminine face is just the opposite of what his looks are. And he has literally nothing else. Tanjiro is the same way. He's just a good guy and nothing else. That's why they're the most boring main cast I've ever seen. Not only are their characters boring and bland and only are like one character trait or two at the most, they also don't even seem like real friends, just different character archetypes used again and again. So that kind of ruined Demon Slayer for me. The last character is Itachi Uchiha. Itachi. That was actually probably my first anime hot take I ever had. All of my friends loved Itachi, okay? They had this picture as like a screensaver and all type of stuff, you know? He's a cool looking guy, I gotta admit. And many people probably know why I don't like him. I don't like his motivation, his philosophy, and how he's portrayed by the anime at all. I don't like any of it. First of all, we gotta talk about his backstory, because that is what builds his character. Itachi at a young age killed his whole clan because we're about to do a coup d'etat and threaten the whole village. Danzo gave him the mission to kill his clan so that no war would take place where different villages would invade and cause chaos. Alright? Because Itachi has been a pacifist ever since he witnessed the last Great Ninja War. And if you think about his motivation, I think it's a great start. But the rest of his story just doesn't feel realistic. It's just not convincing to me. And I don't get how it's so convincing to everybody else in the anime community. Everybody thinks he's a hero, he's a great brother, he loves his brother. Everybody thinks he's such a great and well-written character, and he is so perfect. He's just the best. In my opinion, Itachi is just an idiot, really, and a very, 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 very bad brother. And the guy who has plans that are just so batshit crazy and depend on luck. Without luck, his plan would have been fucking shit. And he even failed his plan, even though it could have been much, 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 much worse. First of all, I think anybody who seen dead bodies and stuff like that would have probably been scared to kill people or to do great harm, like killing his own clan. You gotta think about it. He probably knows 90% of his clan, so they have their own section in the village. And he gotta know every single, like not every single one of them, but a majority of his clan. Like little kids, his aunts, grandma, probably much, much more. And he's willing to fucking kill everybody because they are trying to do a coup d'etat. a fucking coup d'etat. And I don't even think that everybody would like participate in it. But he has to kill every single one. Everyone. Not only the men or something or the adults, everyone. Except his brother, of course. Because he loves him and he thinks he can just make decisions like that. The notion that Uchiha clan, first of all, the notion that other villages will attack the Leaf village if a coup d'etat would have happened is fucking ridiculous. There have been other events like the Nine-Tails attacking the village and where fucking crazy shit happened where nothing and nobody attacked. Nobody took the chance to attack. But let's just say there were like intensities between the villages and it was just so intense that they didn't want to risk it. These other villages are fucking trash. They don't even have half the ninjas that the Leaf village has. Not even half, bro. Not even half. Itachi could have killed all these fucking villages, bro. We don't even know anything about these villages or any of those strong ninjas they supposedly have. I don't even get how Hashirama died against other ninjas when he was so fucking overpowered, bro. He was so OP. How the fuck did anybody even beat him? And we didn't even know who did it. We don't even know who killed him. That's the crazy part. But either way, let's just say they would have attacked. He would rather not have a war with other villages if they attacked his village and his people because of a conflict they had. The thing about the coup d'etat is also that why don't just fucking arrest those guys? Like, why don't just not arrest the Uchiha clan? I just don't understand how from them planning to overthrow the government to just killing them all is the only solution for Itachi's mind. He supposedly has a brain of an Hokage, but he will kill a fucking entire group. The group who even founded this village with another group. He will kill this entire group. Okay, one of the biggest clans and strongest clans in his village to fucking prevent a civil war. Even though I don't think it would have been an entire civil war, but that's another thing. Like, what kind of Hokage would do such a thing? Like, imagine Naruto finds out the Hyuga are trying to overthrow him or something. Or just Naruto just killing all of them. It feels like Itachi's story could have been easily spun as the villain. Of course, Itachi listened and killed everybody in his clan, which is just a little bit weird, especially because the Uchiha were discriminated against by the village for a long time now, even though they didn't do anything. They were forced to live in this section of the village, forced to go into the police force, so they would be hated. All planned. This was some fucking apartheid shit. Even though they were the ones who came up with this idea of a village anyway, and who founded the village with the Senju. And even betrayed Madara for the Senju because they liked the leadership. And still it wasn't enough. And they were still treated like fucking criminals. And Itachi, knowing all of this, still wasn't a side of the opposition. That's just crazy to me. And they were part of the village, so just killing an entire part of your village is not protecting your village. His idea of justice is just so selfish to me. Of course, he rescues his brother because he loves him. He loves his little brother, yeah. So he kills his clan in front of his little brother. Lets him see him killing his parents in front of him. And then just fucking dips. I couldn't even imagine doing shit like that to a fucking stranger. At this point, kill him too, bro. At this point, kill him too, because that's worse than killing him, bro. Because the things that come afterwards are even crazier. Later, Sasuke becomes a ninja and has a team of Naruto and Sakura. He seems to get better and even become kind of normal, you know, like a regular kid. He comes back to the village, okay? And that's where I began to question his character, okay? He came back to the village. Sasuke, of course, is fucking mad because he hates his brother, obviously. But when he meets him, Itachi beats his fucking ass and puts him in a genjutsu where he sees his parents die all over again, okay? And he didn't even look like he was sad at all, bro. Then he also tells him he gotta be stronger and kill his best friend, who's Naruto, by the way, and the guy who saved the fucking world. Not only did he traumatize his little brother even more and made him a fucking maniac who would become a guy who joins the fucking terrorist organization named the Akatsuki, tries to kill his own friends multiple times and destroy his own village. He also tells him to kill Naruto, who, if he would die, would have been an innocent bystander, just because he wants him to be stronger, to kill him. That's something I don't get. Maybe I missed something, but why? Why? He didn't even have the Mangekyo Sharingan when he beat him. He beat Itachi later on. So why did you just want to kill an innocent guy, an innocent kid from a village that you love so much? Why would you want an innocent kid to die? And you don't even know what would have happened with Sasuke later on. Maybe he would have done worse. And even then, if he had killed Naruto, maybe he would have been locked up or something else. Or maybe if he went rogue, he would have died, or many other things. That's what I mean when I say his plan just depends on luck. I mean, he came back to the village to remind the village of their promises and stuff, but he does know that the village can't control Sasuke all the way, especially if he becomes strong. And he tells him to kill his best friend and fucking traumatizes them even more. That's my main problem with Itachi. If they want him to look like a loving brother, why the fuck would they do something like this? It doesn't even make any sense. Of course, he was lucky that Sasuke didn't become depressed or a fucking empty shell or didn't kill Naruto. Imagine if Sasuke just would have killed Naruto and the village captured him and he was in jail. That would have been just a fucking funny ass alternate story, but whatever. So his plan was for Sasuke to become strong by all means, because the Sharingan is fueled by anger and all this type of stuff, right? And later on, he kills Itachi, and he wants Sasuke to believe that he killed him himself. He even destroyed the curse mark with his unbelievable, contrived as random ass power that came out of nowhere, but he did it. And he planned to kill Tobi, or Obito as we know him, and Sasuke to return to the village and be a hero. Think about it, he used his brother as a tool for his plan to be recognized again, and people call Itachi a good brother. A good brother. Let's just say he was right on the whole coup d'etat thing and killing his whole clan because he had no choice. and because he was a kid and he was confused and Danzo was like manipulating him, whatever. Fuck that. But him being a good brother, bro, it's just the dumbest thing I ever heard. I don't even get how Sasuke forgave Itachi so fucking quick. Like, he just said, yeah, my reason was the village. So I had to kill the clan. Yeah. And Sasuke's response to that is just, I hate the village because they forced Itachi to kill the clan. But I love Itachi now. No, he still did it. Especially someone like Sasuke who spent his whole life hating Itachi. I'm surprised that he didn't even like hate him a little bit or something. They just loved him immediately. I mean, still did it. And especially since Sasuke was not even like thinking rationally, okay? Maybe if he wasn't there and Itachi didn't do this whole Genjutsu thing, maybe I would have understood Sasuke forgiving him, but no, he just forgave him so fucking quick. And somebody traumatized as Sasuke, forgiving him was just very stupid to me. I don't know, maybe that's a normal response to such a revelation, but as deranged as Sasuke became, I'm surprised he didn't saw Itachi as evil as well. Him being a good brother, shit, this is the reason I even made this fucking video, but yeah, that was it. Bye.